Today we are going to be making a dish from Bahamas. I decided to make stew fish because it looked like a really interesting recipe and I love fish and I was craving fish, so that's what I decided to go with. It's a relatively simple recipe. We're going to start with the basic ingredients.
Alright, we're going to be using 1 whole red snapper. We have 1 white onion roughly chopped, our tomato paste, as well as our all-purpose flour, and we have our scotch bonnet, scallions, and thyme leaves. And these are our ingredients. So I've never fried a fish before, especially a whole one. So after doing a little bit of research, and I found a few recipes online, and majority of them recommended cutting 3 diagonal slices into your fish. Apparently it helps with the fish not curling up, so best believe that's what I decided to do, and I cut up 3 slices on each side, about a 1/4 of an inch thick, I would say. I'm not that good with measurements. Alright, now we're gonna get ready to deep fry our fish. Now, you guys may notice that this fish does not look like the one I had originally shown you in my ingredients list. This is due to the fact that this is my second attempt because I tried to pan fry my fish and it did not turn out so well for me. So, because of pan frying, this monstrosity was born. We are back to deep frying and we're gonna let the frying go until the fish gets a nice crisp crust. Now you're gonna go ahead and get the stew ready for the stew fish. So the oil that you use to fry the fish in, you're gonna reserve 1 cup of it, and basically that oil is gonna be used as the base for the stew. So go ahead and pour in the 1 cup of oil on a hot pan and get ready to mix in the flour. And now be mindful because the oil is going to be really hot, and as soon as you dump in the flour, it's going to get fizzy and it might splatter, so you have to be a little careful. And then as soon as you start putting in the flour, start stirring vigorously because you don't want it to get clumpy, which it has a tendency to do unless you stir like I'm doing here. And make sure you get all the little bits and pieces because you want to make sure all the flour dissolves completely into the oil mixture. You're going to continue stirring for a while because otherwise this could burn and you don't want that burnt flour taste. So continue stirring until it gets to a deeper brown color. Once the stew has reached a nice brown color, you can go ahead and add in the rest of the ingredients. So you're going to start with adding in the tomato paste and stir that vigorously to make sure that there's no clumps. Then you can go ahead and add in the chopped white onions. You can start to see the sizzle here. Oh, this smelled amazing when I was actually cooking it. And now you can go ahead and add in the rest, which is the scallions, the thyme, and the scotch bonnet peppers. And continue to mix that in, and then you can go ahead and squeeze in half of the lime that you had cut up. And continue to stir until you start to see it come to a nice boil. And you can lower the heat and let it go for around 10 to 15 minutes. Now you can go ahead and add in the salt and pepper. So for this recipe, the seasoning is very simple. It is just salt and pepper, and adjust that to your taste, to however much you would like to put in. My rule of thumb for salt is always that you can always add more, but you can't take it out. So start small and then gradually add in as much as you guys need. And this is solely based on personal preferences because I know some people like their food salty. I actually like mine to be a little less on the salty side, so I didn't put in as much. After all of our ingredients are well combined, you can go ahead and add in 1 cup of water. Now you can adjust this, but we'll start with 1 cup. Use my little Mr. Mustache, and we're gonna add in 1 cup and start mixing that in. Now you'll see a chemical reaction, of course. We're mixing oil and water, so it's definitely gonna separate, but don't worry, just continue mixing and it will get well incorporated. Now you'll see that it's come to this creamy texture. You can taste at this point to make sure that the salt and pepper is to your liking. Taste again, maybe. And then if you think that the stew is a little too thick, you can go ahead and add in a little bit more water to make sure it's at the right consistency that you want. And once all the ingredients are mixed in, you can go ahead and layer in your fish. Now you might notice that my fish does not fit the pan I have. So I'm going to improvise and cut off the head, which was something I was going to do afterwards anyways because I don't like eating the head of the fish. I know I'm one of those, but I don't. So now you can go ahead and gently layer that fish into your stew bath and just use your wooden or spatula to coat the fish with the gravy. And you're going to make sure everything is fully coated. And you can go ahead and leave the stew going for a little while. So at this point you can cover. Unfortunately, I do not have an official cover for this pot, so I used a makeshift one from a pressure cooker. It has this really cool little thing on the top which is like a whistle, and it keeps the air flowing, which is perfect. Now you're gonna let this go for around, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes. And once that's ready, you can go ahead and unveil the fish and eat.
Alright guys, we are back and I've served up my Bahamian stew fish and I'm gonna taste it to let y'all know how it tastes. I garnished it with a little cilantro because you know a girl loves her some cilantro. Okay, we're gonna dig right in. Look at that fish. I'm gonna get the little scale out. And some stew. That is some good fish. Wow. For my first attempt, I'm really proud. So the texture is very smooth and creamy because the stew has such a nice rich base with the roux. And the fish itself is perfectly cooked. Nice, beautiful tenderness. Still really hot though. And it tastes really good. So the salt and pepper, and I added a little extra lime that gave it a nice little oomph. But yeah, wow, just makes me feel like I'm back in the Caribbean. But as good as this fish is, so the only thing that I guess I would change if I made this again was that I think I would double scotch bonnets because I love them, and I think this would go really well with a little extra heat. But since I have not done that, I'm gonna do something better. Okay, I'm back. So I actually went on the hunt today because I was like, I'm making fish. I want the Caribbean, you know, like the feel of the authentic food. And my favorite hot sauce had to be this one. So I went and I bought some. So I'm gonna mix that in with the curry a little, just because I want to see what it's gonna taste like. Okay, take a little bit of the fish. Guess the cilantro wants to go on a ride too. Wow. Wow. That gave it the perfect oomph that I was looking for. So yeah, the dish itself is honestly really good. Don't need to add any more salt or pepper, at least for my taste. Everything is good. The only thing I wanted to add was a little bit more heat. And because I only want one scotch bonnet, that I'll have the scotch bonnet sauce. So that would be the only thing. And other than that, this recipe is really good. I would definitely make it again. So that was Around the World with Rachi. Thank you for joining in again for my channel. This means a lot to me. Thank you for everyone that watches. I will see what the next stop is for our next video, and we'll see what we're gonna make next. So if you really like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And let's get cooking together.